Wait, come in peace. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Couple Books. Today we are doing another tag. As you guys probably don't know, I got super busy at the end of the year. Super duper busy. And because I got super duper busy, I unfortunately was not able to do all the tags I wanted to do at the end of the year. So, in order to make up for that, I will be combining a tag that is F2020, which I was tagged by Frannie from Frannie for Thoughts. The original creator was Happy for Now, which her channel will be tagged down below as well as Frannie's. And because this is a 2020 book tag, I still wanted to do it because I love the questions in it. But I'm going to be coupling it in today's video with the New Year's book tag. And the original creator for the New Year's book tag was Bookables, and I was inspired because I saw it on Casey's channel, Lost in the Bookcase. So because of all that, I'll be tagging both of those channels down below for this tag, and I'll also be answering those questions. And they're both like not super long tags, so I'm hoping I will be able to make this a nice viewing pleasure for the people back at home. So with that, let us get started with the first question of the F2020 book tag, and that is going to be share some good stuff that has happened in the year 2020 and some bad stuff if you want. So 2020 is over. Thank God it's over, okay? Like, it could not have ended sooner. But I don't want to focus on the negatives because it is now a fresh start. It is the year 2021. It's going to be an amazing year, hopefully. I just want to focus on the good things. The good things that happened in the year 2021. 1, I started a booktube channel, which was great. 2, I started grad school, which is at the moment horrible, but also great. Number 3, I've read more books this year than I've ever read in my entire life, and that is like such like a meaningful accomplishment for me personally and just like my personal growth as a person. So like I'm so happy to have done that, and that makes me really proud of myself. That's all. 3 things. 3 things that I'm super proud of that happened in the year 2020, which made it like it wasn't a horrible year for me, honestly. I just choked on lies. That was horrible. Okay, number 2. What book did you love at the beginning of the year 2020? For that, we're going to do a book that I haven't discussed on the channel because I read it well before I started BookTube, and that was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo was a author that I had heard of before, but I never had read any of her works before, so I was super excited to pick this up because I heard she was writing an adult fantasy book, and I was like, I got this, let's do it. For those who don't know, which I assume most people probably know about this book because I am super late on this train, but this book was super hyped on BookTube and everywhere. But it basically is about a girl who, like she had a rough start of child and adulthood, but she is accepted into a college and she is a magical practitioner, and she works with this house of basically this like overseer house, and they're kind of like the RAs of the magical community on this Ivy League institution. I do believe it's an Ivy League institution. It's a college campus. They're on a college campus. Her job basically is to monitor and keep in line all of the other magical users on campus who are in these like various Greek life houses, or seemingly Greek life houses. And in addition to that, there's also like a mystery plot going on because her mentor is missing. So I really enjoyed it. It had mystery in it, had fantasy in it, had magic, it had college in it, and college was fun, so it was a great read. This was probably one of my favorite reads of 2020. Next question. A book you were looking forward to, but ended up not being so great. So for that, I actually have a very unique book that probably most people haven't heard of, but that is going to be I Am Providence by Nick Mamatas, which is how I do believe you pronounce it. But this is a murder mystery, and it was sold to me as a murder mystery at a horror convention. And I just love that idea. It's been done before in one of the Jim Butcher books, and I don't know which one was published first, but I was just kind of like wrapped up with the idea of a murder mystery at a horror convention, so I was super sold on it. Once picking it up, I realized it was about a Lovecraftian horror convention, and basically there was like this weird thing that happened. Basically, the moral story is the reason I didn't like it was I felt kind of swindled because it wasn't so much of the type of thing I was expecting. I was kind of expecting like someone gets murdered, they think it's like a joke, or the entire convention bands together to find a murderer, or like they get locked in. I don't know what I was expecting. It was not what I got in this. and the prose is really confusing. I got confused quite a bit. I think it's also due to a lot of references that were made within this to the Lovecraftian mythology that I just am not on par at all in the slightest bit with. So due to a variety of reasons, prose, the characters did not leave a lasting impression. As well, the references were just a little bit too over my head. Not meaning this isn't the right book for someone out there, it just wasn't the right book for me. Number 4, a book that surprised you this year. So a book that surprised me this year is going to be Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. I have talked about this on my channel, and I was super surprised because I heard that it's super controversial, people who do and don't like the series. Some people say none of the books are good, some people say certain books are good, some books are bad, some people say the entire series is great. So I was like super low bar when I read this. I ended up loving it, as you guys know, but I was like extremely hesitant, and I was nicely surprised about this book. A book that you like nobody else does, and or not enough people are talking about. So I'm opting to the not everyone talks about it, and that is going to be The Last Smile in Sunder City by Luke Arnold. I think that this is a great urban fantasy book. I think it's fantastic, especially for it being a debut novel from Luke Arnold. I just really enjoyed it. I thought he added enough complexity to make it interesting and make the world unique. The world is extremely unique, I can say that for a fact, even though you think urban fantasy is kind of standardized. This is a very unique world. I think that the character himself is a complete joy to read, even though he's not such a joyful character himself. Fetch Phillips is great. He's a drunker Harry Dresden, or more angry Harry Dresden is probably a more accurate metaphor, simile, one of the two. But overall, was a really fun book. I really enjoyed it, and I had barely seen it on BookTube. I actually haven't seen it at all on BookTube, I don't think. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely, while it might not be a perfect book, I definitely think it needs more hype than it's getting, and I think more people are not as aware of it as they should be. Maybe I'm just the only person who likes it, but I really enjoyed this book. So for those who don't know, I've already covered it on my channel. I think I covered it way early on in the channel, but this is basically and this takes place in a world where there's magic folk, and everyone knows that there's magic folk, and they live amongst the humans. But magic disappeared a few years ago, and all the magic folk are dying now, or they've lost all their powers. And Fetch Phillips, who's our main character, is a private detective, but he only works for magical folk. He does not work for the humans, even though he is a human himself. So he is tracking down a missing vampire in this book. Number 6 is a book you want to come out already this year, or in the year 2020. This is a book that did come out not super late in the game, but it took so long to get to me that I'm counting it, and that is going to be Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. I got the UK edition, and I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It's so big. I've not read it yet, unfortunately. I'm working on it, as you guys can see. This is a fantastic book, and I'm really enjoying it. And it just took so long to get here. Everyone had finished it, and I was still waiting for it to get here because of COVID delaying all the shipments from the UK. It was horrible, and that is why I'm choosing this book for that. For those who don't know, Brandon Sanderson is bae, so pick him up. Number 7. What book were you looking forward to that got pushed to 2021? I don't know exactly what books did and didn't get pushed, and I tried to look it up, and I wasn't that successful. So I'm going to choose a book that I think should have been published in 2020, and that we have to wait a ridiculous amount of time. And by ridiculous amount of time, I'm saying that in the most respectful manner, and not at all passing judgment on the publishing industry, because I know publishing books takes time, and writing books definitely takes time. But the book I am choosing is the second book in A Deadly Education. I need the second book so badly. I know it's going to be great, and I'm getting so hyped about it. And this is all my own self-doing. I am personally getting myself way too hyped for this book, and I need it yesterday, and it's not coming out till July, which just seems like an extremely far away date, and I'm really stressed off about it. So even though it doesn't really answer the question, it's the answer I'm giving you, so love me. The next question, and the last question I may say, is finally, what book will you think of when you think of 2020? Well, I'm going to take this in spirit, because I'm not sure if anyone else thinks this way, but I always thought that 2020 was going to be the best year ever. I remember 2019 passed, I graduated and everyone was like, 2020 is going to be a great year. We're all going to get jobs. It's going to be a great year for the economy. Like, everything's going to go right for us in 2020. I was moving to a different country, which is where I'm living now. I was like, this is going to be a fantastic year for everyone. We're all going to love the year 2020. What can go wrong in 2020? Yeah. And then, like, 2020 happened, people. It was absolutely horrendous. So, in honor of that, I'm going to pick a book that I was like super amped for, I was super stoked for, and then literally was just like a burning dumpster fire in my personal opinion. And that's going to be An Unkindness of Magicians by Kate Howard. The problem with this book, well, before I get into the problems, I should say what it's about, because I didn't talk about it all on this channel. But basically, it is about basically these warring houses in the East Coast in America. These houses kind of like run the world, but they're not known by the world or by the human world. And these like magical users, these wizards and witches, they like work in these like houses, and they all kind of work together or oppose each other to try and maintain their superior elitism in the like elitist networks and in money and like any way you can think of. They try and be on top, and they try and constantly stay on top, and they fix the market so that they stay on top, and they fix everything to stay on top. Now, every few years they fight each other to basically figure out who's going to be the leading house, the leading like group of wizards and witches to lead them into the future. And that's where we start with this story. This person we have never seen before and no one in the magical community knows about appears, and she appears to be really powerful, and she has come to fight for a offshoot of one of the houses. These children from one of the houses, or children from different houses, have come together and they're trying to start their own house, and they're going to use her to win because she's going to be their champion and fight for them in the battles and the tournaments that are coming in order to basically secure their spot as the leaders and the leading house. The problem is that with this book is that I was like in love with this idea. It was sold to me as like adult Harry Potter. I was kind of like super stoked. I'm like, it's got houses, it has wizards, it has tournaments. I'm like stoked. It was just not good. The syntax I did not enjoy. The prose I did not enjoy. The characters themselves I did not enjoy. There was honestly not much about this book I actually enjoyed. And in addition to all that, I heard about it on BookTube, and a lot of booktubers that I like trust and like I love their usual suggestions were like, this is a decent book, and I was like, I'm gonna read this book, and I was like super excited to read it. And I just hated it. Like, everyone in my book group also hated it. And it was like such a disappointing like first book to read in a new book club. So overall, this is the book I'll always think of in the year 2020 because it was just like the biggest it was the most hyped book personally, and then like the biggest disappointment, and then the fact that I tried to use it for a book club. It was just overall a bad decision, and everything with it went bad. That is my F2020 book tag questions. And now we're going to move into the second tag, which is going to be the New Year's book tag, which I was inspired by, as I said before, Lost in a Bookcase by Casey. And I also will be posting her video link and as well the video link to the original booktuber who made this tag in the description box down below. So don't you guys worry, but let's get started. The first question in the New Year's book tag. The first question in the New Year's book tag is, how many books are you planning on reading in the year 2021? So I discussed this on my goals for 2021, but I'll repeat. I want to read about 150 books this year. That is my goal. That is how many I read last year, or roughly around how many I read last year. So I'm hoping to repeat and meet the same goal. Of course, this time I'll be in grad school, so it poses a little bit of an extra challenge. So fingers crossed we can make it happen, people. Number 2. Name 5 books that you didn't get to this year, but you want to make a priority to get to. So these are going to be mostly books that you guys have seen before, so I'm not going to go too into detail about them, but these are basically all the books on my TBRs I just haven't gotten to. The first book is going to be The Deepest Blue by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a book that takes place in a world where basically all the spirits, so the earth spirits, the air spirits, the water spirits, they all hate humans and they try and kill them, and only the queen of the land is able to reign these spirits and using her magical powers. And in this book we're kind of introduced to a Hunger Games style tournament where the next queen is going to be chosen at, and we follow this girl who lives on like an island, and she's going to another island to compete to become the next queen in waiting. So I'm super excited about this. The next one is Red Rising. This is a book by Pierce Brown, and I have been meaning to pick this up for a while now. I haven't got around to it. It's basically Hunger Games in space from what I've been told. I tried to read it, I think, a few years ago, but I don't remember any of it. I'm looking forward to picking this up. It's been on my TBR for a while. It's been on a few TBR videos itself. I just haven't been able to pick it up yet, so been wanting to check this one out. Next one is The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This is also another book I have mentioned before in this channel and in my TBR videos, but this is a one where it's basically like a warfare book where most of the warfare, I believe, is ship warfare, and these ships are like made out of dragon bones, and apparently like the last living dragon is discovered, so they're all these warring nations are chasing to get this dragon to make a new ship, which is what I do believe is the purpose of capturing a dragon. I'm hypothesizing here, people. So this is another one. Next is going to be Middle Game by Seanan McGuire, and this is a book I hear about like two siblings who have like godlike powers. I don't know much more than that. I just know, I think that there's like a scientific experiment that caused them to have these godlike powers. I'm unsure. I'm going to be frank with you guys. I don't know what's going on, but I'm hoping to get to this book in the year 2021. And then lastly, The Supernatural Enhancements by Eduardo Contero. I actually legit know very little about this book because every time I hear people try and describe it to me, it sounds completely different each time. So I don't know what this book's about. I thought originally it was about like a haunted hotel. I guess that might or might not be the case. I don't know, but I really enjoyed Meddling Kids by him. I've been meaning to pick this up as well, and I'll be getting to it in the year 2021, hopefully. Okay, time for the next question. Number 3, what genre do you want to read more of? My genre I've been telling everyone I'm going to get more into is going to be romance, and that is a genre I want to try this year. The genre I want to get more like in depth with, if that makes sense, is going to be sci-fi. I've not read as much sci-fi as I should, and I need to get more into it, so I'll be definitely diving more in depth into sci-fi and trying out romance this upcoming year. Number 4, name 3 non-book related goals for 2021. So for my 3 non-book goals is going to be 1, to pass and graduate from my master's degree program. Number 2 is going to reacclimate. I want to reacclimate to like society, since I've been spending like 6 months hiding away in my room, mostly due to COVID, but also because I'm a social hermit, so doing that. Number 3 is to work on my eating habits. I want to eat better. I eat like garbage right now. I eat like I'm still in college, and that needs a change. So those are my 3 non-book related goals. Number 5, what's a book you've had forever but you still need to read? This is another book I've mentioned before, but that is A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have bought the entire like book collection, like it's like a one big book, and I'm going to read from there because I wanted all the books. I only have the first book in softback, so I bought all of them in the big one, in the big book, big boy book. So I'm hoping to get to those, and I want to read them all. I've had this for like 5 years now, and I've just never gone around to reading it. And then the last one, what is one word that you're hoping your year 2021 will be? And I'm choosing the word successful, because there's a lot of things that I'm hoping to get done this year. So if it can be a successful year, that would be a win. Okay, so now the last question is tag somebody. So I'm going to tag somebody. The problem is that this is, since I did 2 tag videos, I'm going to let them choose. They may just want to do the New Year's tag, or they may want to do the F 2020 and the New Year's tag. It's completely up to you guys. You guys do your best thing. You guys know what you guys want to do on your channels. So the 4 booktubers I'm going to tag is going to be Lady Jane Books. Lady Jane's just the sweetest person alive, so go to her channel, check her out. She's fantastic. She does lots of interesting in English. She does amazing book reviews. She's a super kind soul. Go check her out. Give her all the likes, subscribes, and comments. Constance the Reader. Constance the Reader, I was like one of the first booktubers, like small booktuber channels I subscribed to and started watching her content, and she tagged me in the running out of time book tag a few weeks ago, but I legit ran out of time, and now it's like not applicable to the situation, so I can't do it. So I apologize to that, Constance. So please accept this as my token of apology, and I hope to see the New Year's book tag from you soon. Next is going to be Attention. I really enjoy Attention's videos. If you guys have not checked out Attention's YouTube channel, like his videos are like really cool. Like he obviously puts a lot of work into them and making them specific. It's like I would describe it as a very artistic way of doing YouTube channels, and that is like an extreme, I'm meaning that in like the most extremely complimentary way possible. I love his videos. He's fantastic. Go check out his videos. Then Book Talks with Yo. I love Joanna. She is so kind. She's another sweet soul. And she's also does a lot of the writing stuff. So if you guys are into the writing and AuthorTube part of BookTube, go check her out for sure. Also, give all 4 of these booktubers lots of love, lots of likes, lots of comments, please. And so don't forget to subscribe to all their channels. And I am pushing the tag onto you for. So let me know. And I hope to see you guys' videos soon. So with that, that is the end of this book tag video. And I cannot wait to see you guys later. Okay, bye now.